video, I'm going to show you how to create a car listing website with WordPress. This car listing website I'll be showing you how to create today in this video. It's not only going to look appealing, but it's going to be dynamic, professionally designed, and highly navigable to increase visibility and usability. Before we get started with our car listing website, let me first of all show you what you will get by the end of this tutorial. So this is the website we'll be creating in this video. When users land on the home page of the website, the first thing they notice is the header, where I have my contact information as well as social media icons at the top header, which users can use in order to get in touch with me. Next, I have the main header, where I have the logo of my website, the main menu, the favorite icon, my account icon, as well as add listing button. Next is this cool hero section, which has an intuitive search feature in a sample car to inform my users what my website is all about. Now if I go over to the search feature, for instance, if I want to search for, let's say, a particular car make, maybe Renault, upon selecting it, you see that I have Renault model. I can also select a particular model, then I go ahead and click on search, and it will take me to the search results, and you see that I have this particular listing, Renault 2023 car for sale. So from here, the user can go ahead and view the listing to see if it matches their needs. Going back to the home page and scrolling down, the next section is where we have brand logos. This is where you can add logos to some of the notable vendors you'll be dealing with. Going down, we have a section for featured listings, where it says browse from our best featured listings. And as you can see, I am displaying 6 different listings, which are my featured listings. And these particular listings are randomly displayed. For instance, let's take notice of the particular listings we have here. And I'm going to go ahead and reload the page. You see that we now have a set of 6 different listings. Awesome. Going down, we have category section, which is set as car body type, and these are the various car body type I have on my website, and I will show you how you can add the various categories to your website. Going down, we have the about section, which you can use to inform your site visitors what your business is all about. Going down, we have another section for recent listings, and it is being grouped by all listing types, listings that are for sale and listing to buy cars. As you can see, I have these 6 listings at a go. Now if I choose sell, let's go down. You see that I now have 4 listings. It means that out of the 6 or whatever number you'll be having, 4 cars are for sale. Now if I go over to buy, you see that 2 cars are for sale. Awesome. So with this, your users can easily go to the particular listing type they want. Going down, we have a section to display our customer reviews. So if you have some reviews from your notable customers, you can come and add them right here. Next, we have a section for latest blog posts. You can use blog posts to drive traffic onto your website. Going down, the last feature, which is actually part of the footer of the website, you can link up your mobile app to the website right here. That is if you have one. And with the help of the same developer of this team we'll be using in this tutorial, you can seamlessly convert your website into a mobile app for both Play Store and App Store. Going down, the final part is the footer, which I will be showing you how to customize. Now if I go over to the listings page, this is where users can find all the listings I have on my website. From here, we have this advanced search feature, which users can use in order to filter to get the particular product they are looking for. As you can see, they can also use more features in order to further narrow down their search. Perfect. Now let's assume I'm interested in this particular listing. I'll go ahead and click on it, and this is how the detailed listing page will look like. As you can see, I have the images to my listing in a grid mode. However, we see +6, which means that we have 6 more images in addition to the 4 images we are seeing right now. So if I choose any of the images, you see that I have 1 of 10. And with this, users can navigate to the other images, as you can see. Awesome. By default, you can be able to add up to 4 images. But I'll be showing you how you can allow your users to be able to add as many images as you want. Going down, these are all the details you will find about this particular car. As you can see right here, I have the price, which is fixed, the title of the listing, the location, how long it has spent on the website, and the number of views it has gotten so far. We also have the main description, and going down we have some additional features with regards to the listing. Perfect. Right here we have details of the car vendor or the one who has done the listing. From here you can use their phone number to get in touch with them. You can also visit their website, their physical location, their email address, or you can even go ahead and chat with them. Going down, you can also use this form in order to ask a question with regards to the listing. Now let's see how the chat feature will come up when users try to chat with the vendor of this particular listing. So if I click on quick chat, you see that I already have some chats right here. So what I do is I'll just say, hello, can I get the latest? Hit enter. Now let's switch to the account of the vendor. I am actually contacting the vendor using my admin account. Alright, I've logged into the website as a vendor. What I need to do is go over to my account, and going down right here you see that under charts I have two. If I click on it, this is the latest message. I just go ahead and open it up. You see that I have, hello, can I get the latest information about your car? I will say yes, of course. What are you? Let's check the administrator side to see how the message will come up. As you can see, I have it right here. Yes, of course. What are you looking for? So that is in a nutshell how the chat feature works. Now let me go back to the listings page. If I hover on this particular listing right now, I have these two features. With the first one, I'll be able to add the listing to my favorites, and with the second one, I'll be able to compare this listing with some other listings. So now if I click on this heart icon, you see that I have a number here, which means that I've added this particular listing to my favorite listings. Maybe I want to add this as well. You see number 2 in that order. So if I go ahead and click on it, it will take me to my account. Under favorites, you see that I have these two listings which I've added to my favorites. I can easily remove them from here. Okay, delete. Okay, and you see that the favorites icon has turned to 0 again. Now let's go back to listings again. Now let's see how the compare feature will come up. So if I hover and click on it, it will open up a pop-up like this. Going down, maybe I want to add this as well. As you can see, finally, let me go ahead and add the third one. Maybe I want to add this, and I now have 3 listings. I click on compare, and this is how it will come side by side, so that I'll be able to go through the features to see which one will best suit my needs. From here, I can go ahead and remove some particular listing I don't want, as you can see in that order. Perfect. We also have a page for stores, which will list all the vendors we have on our website, as you can see. So this is a particular vendor. If I go ahead and click on it, you see the store details about this vendor. As you can see, they have 2 listings for now. And I will be showing you how vendors can create their own stores on their website. Next, we have the about page, which users can use in order to know more about the business. And then the contact page, which users can use in order to get in touch with us. Perfect. So that is in a nutshell what we'll be expecting by the end of this tutorial. By the end of this tutorial, you will have a fully customizable website that you can use in order to generate sales for your business. So if you are ready to creating your car listing website, buckle up and let's get started with the step-by-step tutorial. To create our car listing website, the first thing we need to do is get our own custom domain name and web hosting. Now, what is a domain name? A domain name is simply the address of your website that users can use in order to have access to your website. Now, what is a web hosting? A web hosting is simply a server where every single content of your website will be stored so that users can have access to them wherever they are throughout the world. So to get your own custom domain name and web hosting, click on the very first link in the description down below, or go over to your browser and enter dikupages.com/hostinger. hit enter, and this will bring us to hostinger.com. From here, you can get up to 75% discount on your web hosting. Apart from this 75% discount, I'll be giving you another coupon code that you can use in order to save 10%. Going down, from here, you can choose any of these packages you want. They have the premium, business, and cloud startup. Going down, with the premium, you'll be able to create 100 websites. With the premium and the business, you'll be able to create 100 websites. And then the starter class, you'll be able to create 300 websites. The major difference between the premium and then the business is that you get 100 gigabytes of SSD storage for the premium and then 200 gigabytes NVMe storage. NVMe is faster than the SSD storage. For the premium, backups is done weekly, and then the business, it is done on daily basis. So choosing any of these packages will depend upon what you want. For this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and choose the premium package. From here, you'll be able to choose the number of months you want. As you can see, for 1 month, you will be paying $11.99. The rest of the payment plans, you'll be paying $2.99 per month. So why is the rate the same for the rest of the payment plans? Now, if you take 12 months, you'll be paying $9.09 per month when you are going to renew your plan. And then with 24 months, you'll be paying $8.99 per month during renewal. And then with the 48 months, you'll be paying $7.99. So what this means is that the lesser the amount you pay during renewal will depend upon the maximum number of months you'll be selecting. And take note, each of them will come with a free domain for the first year, as you can see. For this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and stick to the 48 months. Going down, from here, you can go ahead and create your account if you are new to Hostinger. Going down, next you'll be required to choose your payment gateway. And take note, this is the amount I'll be paying for the 48 months. That is $143.52 for the 2 years. That is 48 months. Next, I go ahead and enter in my names, my phone number, country of residence, and then the rest of the fields. Going down, as you can see, this happens to be the total I was going to pay. And because of the 75% discount Hostinger is giving, we are now going to be paying this amount. And remember, I said I'll be giving you additional coupon code, which you can use to further save 10% on your hosting. So if I go ahead and click on have a coupon code, then in here you enter Swadiku. Just like this, then click on apply. Coupon code is applied, and now I'll be paying $129.17. Isn't this cool? So this amount you'll be paying is for 2 years. From there, I go ahead and enter in my card details. After entering all the details and clicking on submit secure payment, I'll be redirected to my Hostinger control panel. Upon logging in into my cPanel, right here you see my hosting plan. I'm using the business web hosting, where I already have 11 websites added. And now I'm going to add a fresh website onto my account. To do that, I go over to websites. And right here you see all the websites I've already added. And I'm going to go ahead and add a new website. So I click on add website button. Then I choose WordPress. From here, I create my login credentials. So the email I use to register on Hostinger will be here. And I'm going to go ahead and choose my password right here. All is set. I click on next. What type of website do you want to build? This is just a survey. You can choose whichever one you want. For this demonstration, I'll click on create blank site. Now, if you choose any of the packages up to 1 year, remember you'll be getting a free domain for the first year. So this is where you can enter your domain in order to claim it. So I'll just enter the domain I want to use. And take note, if your domain is not registered anywhere, you can easily go ahead and claim it from Hostinger. But if your domain is registered somewhere, then you need to do the installation, and later on you go ahead and update your name service at the domain registrar. And you see that my domain is registered with another service provider. In your case, you will have seen that the domain is available. That is, if you are going to register it with Hostinger. All you need to do is just go ahead and select your domain which has the availability label on it. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this since I have my domain registered with another provider. You see that I have this notification. When using a domain that's registered elsewhere, you will need to manually connect it to your website. So I'll be doing this later on. You can also choose to use a temporary domain if you want. For this, I'll just go ahead and click on next, since this is the domain I want to use. And now WordPress is installing on my domain or on my website. You just have to give it a moment to finish installing. Alright, the installation is successful and the page will reload and take me to my WordPress dashboard. Perfect. Now if I go to the front end of my website by clicking here, you see that I'm seeing my website as a preview, and this is how my domain will look like, as you can see on the address bar. With this, I need to connect my domain to Hostinger. So what I'm going to do is go back to Hostinger. I'll just open a new tab, then I enter hpanel.hostinger.com, hit enter. Because I'm already logged in, it will take me directly to the Hostinger account. What I want to do is go over to websites. Under my new website, that is EasyPip, you see that it's saying domain is not connected, and I can easily go ahead and click on connect, or I can go over to the dashboard. I still have the same notification right here. So what I do is go ahead and click on connect. From here, I need to select my service provider. So what you need to do is drop down the arrow. If you are using any of these service providers, you easily go ahead and select them. In my case, my service provider is not listed, so I choose other. Then I click on let's start. At the moment, it's saying that this is my current name service, and this is what I need to change it to. That is Hostinger name service. The next thing I do is go over to my domain service provider. I am using Dynadot, and I have my domain right here. What I do is just click on the existing name service like this. At the moment, this is the current name service attached to my domain name. What I do is select enter new or existing name service. So this is where I enter the new name service. Going back to Hostinger dashboard, I copy the first one, come back to Dynadot, I go ahead and paste it in here. Going back, I copy the second one, come back in here, then I go ahead and paste it in here. Next, I click on save name server. Name service is modified, and right here you see the new name service. It should be noted that this may take a moment to propagate. By propagation, it means that Hostinger will have to tell the whole world that you are now the user of this particular domain name. So now I can exit out of here, then I click on continue. Your domain connection is in progress. It can take up to 24 hours for your website to become accessible via easypip.com. I click on all done. Even though they said it may take up to 24 hours, but in some cases, as soon as you connect, maybe in some few minutes, you'll be up and running. So that's it on how we install WordPress on our website. The next thing I want to do is create a professional email for my website. So as you can see, I have free email here and it's set to pending setup. You can easily go ahead and click here to set up your email. What if you are not on this page? How can you go ahead and create your email? Let's assume we are on the home page of our Hostinger dashboard. From here, I just go ahead and click on emails, and you see all the available domains I have, which have some emails attached to them. Since I'm going to be creating the email for a new website, what I do is go ahead and click on setup. From here, I drop down the arrow, then I go ahead and choose that particular domain I want to use. In this case, it's going to be easypip.com. I click on confirm. From here, I'll be required to select my email plan. Take note, we are being given free email, so I go ahead and use Hostinger free. I click on select, and this is where I enter the name I want to use for my email. For this demonstration, I will say info. I already have the @easypip.com, so I don't need to add that. Next, I go ahead and enter in my password. Then I click on create. New email account created successfully. From here, you can choose to configure your apps and devices, which is optional. For now, we are not going to do this, so I go ahead and click on skip. And our email is successfully created. Next, let's see how we can log into our email. From here, I can easily go ahead and click on Hostinger webmail, which will open in a new tab. I go ahead and enter in my password. Then I click on login, and we are right here. Perfect. This interface is just similar to any email service provider out there, so we don't really need to go through how to use it. I can exit out of here, and that's it on how we create a professional email address for our website with Hostinger. Now let's go over to our website and begin designing it. To do that, I can easily go to the main dashboard of Hostinger. Then I click on websites. Right here, I have my domain. I can just click on dashboard beside it. And from here, I click on WordPress admin, which will open in a new tab and redirect me to my WordPress dashboard. Now that we are done installing WordPress on our website, the next thing I want to do is go ahead and do some basic cleaning up. First, I go over to post. Upon installing WordPress, I have this new Hello World post. I don't need it. I just go ahead and trash it. Next, I go over to pages, and I'm going to go ahead and delete all pages I don't need. Next, I come over to plugins. I don't need all these plugins, so I go ahead and take them off. So I'll just select all. I drop down the arrow under bulk actions. I click on deactivate, apply. I select them again, bulk actions, delete, apply. Then I click on OK to take them off my website. Next, I go over to settings, then I click on general. And this is where I can change the name of my website. So I'll just call it car listing. And the tagline. Next thing I do is go over to membership and make sure anyone can register is enabled so that users can actually create accounts on my website. Going down, I update the changes. And now you see the new name of my website right here. Next, I go over to permalinks. Here, I need to make sure that the permalink structure is set to post name so that I'll have clean URLs on my website. So if you see yours to be on any of these, just change it to post name. Then you go ahead and save the changes. Next, let's go over to appearance. Appearance is where we have themes for our website. At the moment, this is the active theme. And for this reason, we don't need any of the two themes we have here. So I'll just go ahead and delete them by going to theme details, delete, apply. Theme details, delete, apply. Unfortunately, we cannot delete this theme because we need an existing theme to work with. And I'll be showing you how we take it off after we have installed the theme we want to use for our website. Now that we are done cleaning up our website, the next thing we want to do is download the theme we are going to use for our website. At the moment, if I go to the front end of my website, you see that the theme we have here is looking plain and boring. So let's go ahead and install a theme that will look professional and look exactly as what we saw in the beginning of the tutorial. For this, I'm going to go ahead and open a new tab, then I enter dikupages.com/CLCar. I hit enter, and this will take us to this car classified WordPress theme, which is one of the best car listing themes in my opinion. Here you will get a beautiful crafted theme in order to create your car listing website. For this, I'll just go over to the pricing section by clicking on Buy Now button. Right here, they have various packages. The first one we have here is yearly, where you can get the theme for $39 for just one website license. Paying $149 per year, you'll be able to develop 5 websites with the theme. And then with $299 yearly, you'll be able to develop 100 websites with the theme. And all this, you get 1 year support and 1 year update, and you also get a 20% discount upon renewal. If you buy the theme and you think that it's not good for you, you can request for your money back within 30 days. Now let's go over to lifetime license. With the lifetime license, you'll be paying $149 and you'll be able to use the theme on only one website. However, you get lifetime free support as well as lifetime updates. With $399, you'll be able to develop 5 websites with the theme with lifetime support and lifetime updates. And with the third package, you pay $499 in order to design 100 websites with the theme. Next, we have a bundle package. With the bundle package, you pay $119 yearly. And with this, you'll be able to get all the themes, the main plugins, and then the add-on bundle. You also get access to the Classified Listing Pro plugin, all add-ons from the theme developer, as well as all classified themes, except the themes they have on Envato Market. So if you pay this particular amount, that is $119, you'll be able to access all the themes they have on their website for free. Take note, this is yearly. If you need a lifetime access for only one website, you will be paying $319. and you can have access to all these, that is the add-ons and then the classified themes. Finally, with $909, you'll be able to get the bundle package for life, and you'll be able to create 100 websites with this. So if you are running a web design agency and you want to efficiently maximize your revenue, this is the package I will advise you to go in for, as you can see right here. And you don't have to worry, you have 30 days money back guarantee. If you buy the theme and you are not interested anymore within 30 days, you can come back for your money. I already have the theme, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in and show you how you can download it after you have purchased the theme. Having logged in, I will just come over to my account. Then I'll go ahead and click on my downloads. Going down, as you can see, I have all the themes right here. I'll just come over to CLCar. Then I'll go ahead and click on the first one right here. You can download the main one, however, you need to extract it in order to get this one. So I'll just go ahead and download the CLCar version 1.1.5. That is the current version at the time of recording this video. I'll just click on it. And the download is started right here. Scrolling up, I click on purchase history, and from here I go ahead and view my licenses. Under CLCar, I'll just go ahead and click on manage size, and I have my license right here. I'll hide this for obvious reasons. Now that we have located our license, let's go ahead and install the theme. So I go to the back end of my website, then I go ahead and click on add new theme. From here, I click on upload theme. I can easily come here, then I drag in the theme. I click on install now. The theme is successfully installed. I click on activate. After activating the theme, we'll be required to install all these important plugins. I'll just go ahead and click on begin installing plugins. I'll select all. I drop down the arrow and the bulk actions. I click on install and apply. And now the plugins are being installed on my website. All the plugins are installed. I return to the required plugins installer. Next, I select all again. I drop down the arrow and the bulk actions, click on activate, apply in order to activate all the plugins. All the plugins are being activated. Now if I go over to themes, you may be taken to the Elementor editor setup. Just go ahead and exit it from here. We don't really need that. Now let's go back to themes and the appearance, and you see that our new theme is activated, which means we don't need this theme anymore. So I'll just go ahead and take it off. Awesome. Next thing we want to do is enter our license key. So I go over to theme license. I go back to Radio's theme to get my license key. I have it here. I'll just go ahead and copy it. Going back, I go ahead and paste it in. Then I click on save changes. From here under license action, I click on activate license. Now you see I have deactivate license, which means that my license key is working now. Let's go ahead and refresh our page to see how our website will look like. This is how it will come up, and you see that it's still looking boring. Now let's go ahead and make our website professional. For this, we are not going to build the website from scratch. Instead, we are going to go ahead and import a demo content, which will make our website look sleek and professional. For that, I'll go back to the back end of my website. Scrolling down, I go over to Tools, then I click on Demo Content Install. From here, we'll be presented with two different home pages. You can either install home page 1 or home page 2. And don't worry, you can switch to any of the home pages after you have imported your demo content. For this demonstration, I will import the home page 1. So I click on Install. And you will get this warning, which is very important. Installing this demo will delete all existing data and content of your website. So use it only in fresh website. Do you want to continue? Yes, so I click on OK. Now my demo is being installed. How long it takes will depend upon the kind of web hosting you are using and the speed of your internet connection. So you simply have to wait for it to finish installing. Alright, our demo content has been imported successfully and we are redirected to the front end of our website. As you can see, this is looking clean and highly professional. I can exit out of here. Now if I hover on home, you see that I have home 1 and then home 2. The home 1 is what we are seeing right now. If I go over to home 2, this is how the home 2 looks like, as you can see. So that's it on how we install our theme and also import a demo content onto our website. The next thing we want to do is choose the particular home page we want to use for our website. For this demonstration, I'm going to use the home page tool. To do that, I go to the back end of my website, then I hover on settings, click on reading. Under your home page displays, you see that it is set to a static page, and then the home page 1 is selected. I drop down the arrow, then I choose home 2. Going down, I click on save changes. Now if I try to go to the front end of my website by clicking on visit site, the home page 2 will now be my default home page, as you can see. Awesome. So that's it on how we set our default home page. The next thing I want to do is customize my website so that it will look professional for my users to use. For this, I'll go ahead and click on customize. That is if you are on the front end of your website. It doesn't really matter which page you are on. From here, the first thing I'm going to work on is the logo of my website. So I go ahead and click on general, and this is where I can change the logo. I'll just click on change logo. I go over to upload files, select files. I have my logo here. I select it, then I click on open. It is uploaded. I click on choose file. My logo is uploaded. Next, I have this light logo, which I'm not really going to use on this website. You can only use the light logo when you are using the home page 1. So I'll just go ahead and remove it. I can also upload a mobile logo, so I'll select it. The logo is selected. I click on choose file. So that is the same logo we'll see when our website is in a mobile view. Going down, this is where you can enable your preloader, which is already active on my website. You can also magnify your pop-ups, enable sticky header, and then scroll to top. I'll leave everything as they are. However, I'm going to go ahead and change my preloader image. If I go to the front end of my website, that is car, this is the preloader icon. So I'm going to change it to my main logo here. So I select this one, and I click on choose file. So if I publish my website now, then I go to the front end and reload, you now see my new logo as the preloader image. Perfect. Going back, next thing I want to do is change the colors of my website. So I go back, then I click on color, site color, and this way I change my colors. For this, I'm going to change the primary and secondary colors. So I just select it from here, and this way I enter my color code. I already have it copied to clipboard. I'll just paste it in, and you see my colors have changed already. But if I hover, you still see this secondary color here. So what I do is I select it, then I enter the same color. Meanwhile, I'll increase the thickness like this. Now if I hover, you see a different variation of my blue color. Awesome. Going down, you see that my colors has run through, as you can see on the price and on these icons. Awesome. Next thing I want to do is change my site icon. So I go back, scrolling down to site identity. I click on change image. I go to upload files, select files, and this is my site icon. I set it, click on open, I click on select, and I have it right here. So if users visit my website, this is the icon they will see instead of the default one from the theme. Awesome. Next, let's go ahead and customize our menu. As you can see, I have a bunch of drop-down lists. We don't need all these pages. These pages are just variations of what we see on the listing page. If I go to the front end and point on listing now, you see that there is not an existing page. So these are the various listing pages we will get. So let's go over to listing grid. This is how it looks like. And then listing list, this is how it will look like. And then we also have listing map grid. With this, you have a visual of the locations of the various listings. So let's look at how we can set one of these pages as our main listing page. Under pages, we also have these pages, that is store details, after listing. I'll be showing you how we can customize all these. Going back to the theme customizer, we go back, then come over to menus. I'll select the menu 1, and what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and remove all what we have here. So I'll just delete the menu, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new menu. After deleting the menu, you see that we have this mess here. I'll just click on create new menu, and I'll call it main menu. I'm going to locate it as the primary menu, then I click on next. And you see that the menu is off, we don't have any list. Now let's go ahead and add the items to it. The first one we want to add is our home page. That is our front page right here. So I just add it, followed by about us. I also want to add the listing page. I have it right here, that is listing. Take note, that is the listing grid page. I also want to add the store page, so that users can have access to the various stores on my website. I'll also add blog, and finally contact. From here, I can go ahead and rearrange them. I want listings to come under home, like this, and then stores will also come under listing or after listing. And finally, we have the about us, blog, and contact pages. Now let's go ahead and change the labeling of our pages. For home 2, we don't want it that way. Let's click on it, then take off the number 2. Listing is okay. Store page, I want to make it stores instead of store page. Perfect. And the rest, I leave them as they are. Maybe about us, I'll just make it about, something like that. And now we are done with our menu. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my listing link or the listing form to the add listing button. If I go to the front end now and try to click on it, you see that nothing happens. Going back, what I can do is I can just go to the back end of my website, then I go over to pages. Going down, I have listing form. If I right click on it, open link in a new tab, this is how it will look like. From here, users can actually go ahead and create their listings. So I'll just copy the URL from here. Going back, I click on back, then I click on header. Going down, you see that I have button text, that is add listing. You can change it from here. And then the button link, I'll just go ahead and paste in the link I copied. And now we are done customizing our header. Next, let's go ahead and customize our footer. To do that, I can just hover and click on the pencil icon beside the particular one I want to customize, like this. And you see that I have footer menu where I have company and contact info, as you can see, blog and article, sitemap, and then the rest. I'm going to go ahead and remove all these. So I just expand it and click on remove, and then finally remove. Now I'll add some new menus to it. I click on add items. The first one I'm going to add is the home page, followed by about us, contact, and then blog. Let me relabel the home. So I take off 2, and we have our menus here. Awesome. Similarly, you can do the same thing to the help and support. Now let's go ahead and change the content here. How can we do that? To do that, I go back, then I go ahead and click on widgets. That is footer 1. I select it, and this way I change the text. So I'll just remove everything, then I go ahead and enter in my text. I'll just put this content for now, and it has been shown here. Awesome. Now we have these social icons. If you want to link them to their respective social platforms, this way you can do that. For instance, if you want to use Facebook, you just go ahead and enter your Facebook URL. For this, I'll enter https://facebook.com/ then I enter my Facebook page name like this, Dikupages, or maybe Dikupages web. Similarly, you go ahead and do the same thing to the rest of the various platforms you want to use. I'll leave the newsletter for subsequent videos. Next, let's go ahead and change our copyright section. To do that, I go back, then I go ahead and click on footer. Here, we have two different footer designs to use. This is the active one. You can also go ahead and use the dark one if you want. For this, I'll just maintain the plain one. And this way I can customize my footer text. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, I take off the year, then everything right here. I'll leave the copyright sign, then I enter 2024, that is the current year. Then I bring the name of my website, say car listing. Perfect. You can also change the payment image right here, and that is it here. I think leaving this is cool so that your users will know the particular payment options you have. Finally, I want to customize the top header we have here. To do that, I go back, then I go ahead and click on contact and social. From here, you can enter your address. So I'll just enter. Next, I have phone number, and this is what we have right here, as you can see. So I'll just go ahead and enter my own number. And we have it right here. Next is email, so I'll just say info@dikupages.com. We have phone text, that is call us. That's what we have here. So if you want to change it, this way you do that. You can just say phone, and it will display right here. For this, I'll just leave the call us. And finally, we have social text, that is follow us on, and that is the same text we have here. And similarly, you can go ahead and enter your social links, just as we did for the footer. And that's all the customizations I want to do. I just go ahead and click on publish to save my work. From here, I close this to take me back to the front end of my website. Perfect. And this is looking cool with our own colors. Awesome. So that's it on how we customize our website. I can exit from here and here for now. Now that we are done customizing our website, the next thing we want to do is start designing the pages of our website. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the home page. To do that, make sure you go over to the home page, then you click on Edit with Elementor. From here, I'll start by designing my home page, and I'll start with the hero section. The first thing I'm going to do is change the background of the hero section. To do that, I can just right click right here, and I click on Edit section. From here, I click on Style, and I have the background here. I just click on Choose Image. I go ahead and upload files, select files. Inside my images folder, this is the image I want to use for my background. I select it, then I click on Open. It is uploaded. I click on Select, and I have it right here. Next, I go ahead and customize this search widget. So I click on the pencil icon here, and I can choose from two different styles. At the moment, style 2 is active. Let's see style 1. This is how style 1 will look like, but it's not looking intuitive. I don't really like it, so I'll stick to style 2. From here, under highlight categories, you can decide to select some categories that will be highlighted in the search form. If I select sports car, it means that under the select category, sports car will be active. But if I want users to be able to select from the drop down, I just leave it as empty. Next is search filtering. Which fields do you want users to be able to filter? At the moment, it is set to car fields, and I think car fields is good, so I leave it as it is. However, you can choose any of these features. Next is section title, and that is the text we have here, find your perfect car. So it's what we have here, find your perfect car. So instead of find your perfect car, I would say find your dream car, as you can see. So the span tag right here will change our text into this blue color, depending upon the color you'll be setting for your website. Remember, we set our colors when we're customizing our website. Next, we have section content, and that is discover great places around you. So instead of discover great places, I would say discover great cars around you. Something like that. The rest of the fields are fine, so I don't do any other thing. Next, we can customize this text right here. That is 2,500 plus cars available. So instead of 2,500, I can say 1520, something like that. And then car available, it should be plural, so I will say cars available, so that it will appear right here. Cool. Next, we have this car right here, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to my own image. Upon selecting it, remember it's still selected. This is where I have the car. I will just click on choose image. I go over to upload files, select files, and this is the car I want to use. I select it, then I click on open. It is uploaded. I click on select, and I have it right here. One thing you may also want to consider doing is changing the color of this text. So if I want to change it, I go over to style, and we have count color. I can just click here, then I can choose any color I want, as you can see. Awesome. For this demonstration, I'll just go ahead and select my blue color like this, but I'll make it a little bit lighter. And this is cool. Awesome. And now we are done with the hero section. Going down, we have a section that we can use to display our notable customers. So from here, you can go ahead and add the logos of your notable customers. Let me show you how it works. To customize it, just click on the pencil icon right here. And from here, you can go ahead and add the various logos. So I just click in here. At the moment, I have 5. So if I want to add additional logo, I'll just go over to add to gallery. Going down, maybe I want to add this as an example, not this. Maybe this. I just want to show you how it works. Then I click on add to gallery. I don't really need this, so I take it off. You can rearrange them just the way you want, as you can see. Then click on insert gallery, and we have it right here. It should be noted that before you add your logos, you need to get a standard dimension so that all the logos will have the same dimension. As you can see, this one is hanging on top. It's not really intuitive. I just want to show you how it works. So I'll go ahead and take it off since I don't need that. Then I click on insert gallery. Awesome. Next, we have featured listings. This is where our features listing will be displayed. If you want to change the text from here, this is where we do that, as you can see. So we have the main header and then the description. For the main header, featured listing is okay. Maybe the description, I want to change the text. So I'll say browse from our best featured listings. Perfect. Next, I can customize the listings itself by clicking on the pencil icon here. At the moment, we are using grid view. We can also see list view, and this is how it will look like. For this demonstration, I think grid view is cool, so I select it back. With grid view, we have 2 different styles. At the moment, style 2 is active. You can also use style 1. With style 2, you see that we have some logos here. The logos are static, but when you choose style 1, you don't see those logos until you hover. So depending upon which one you want to use, you can select accordingly. Next, we have columns. Columns for desktop is set to 3. Maybe if you want 4, this is how 4 will look like, as you can see. And then under general, you can set the listing per page to maybe 8. so that it will cover the entire space, as you can see. But for this, I'll leave it as 6, and then the layout, I'll leave it as 3. Perfect. For tablets, let's see how many we want. It is set to 3, and I think 3 is cool. Let's see mobile. Mobile is set to 1, and I think 1 is cool. Let's take it back to desktop. Let's see more features under general. Under general, you can set the promotions to hot, top, bump up, and popular. At the moment, it is showing everything. I'll show you all these features later on when we go to settings. So if I select hot, only hot products will display. As you can see, if I take off hot, then I choose maybe bump up, only bump up will show, as you can see. For this demonstration, I'll just leave them as empty so that everything will be displayed. You can also exclude some promotions from here if you want. And then we have listing type. At the moment, it is showing all. You can choose to sell, you can choose to display only sell items, or maybe buy items, or possibly rental items. At the moment, we don't have listing for rental items. For this, I'll just leave it as all. You can also choose to set some categories that you want to be displayed here. For instance, if I choose sports car, I'll only have sports cars in here. If I add maybe convertible, convertible will be added. For this, I'll just leave it as empty so that it will show all categories. You can also filter based on locations, just as categories. We have already seen listing per page, and then pagination, you can enable it so that users will be able to move to different pages. This is not really necessary. Next, we have order by. At the moment, it is set to date. You can choose to use title, ID, price, views, random, and then none. Let's see random, so that the featured listing will be randomly displayed. And this is kind of cool. Instead of just listing them by date. If you list them by date, it means that some particular group of listings will only be shown on the home page. That is from the date they were added. But if you select random, the system will always give users a set of listings to choose from. And this is kind of cool. Next, we have content visibility. If you want to show the listing image, this should be on. If I take it off, you see that listing images are not being shown. If you don't want to show title, you can take it off. You see that there's no title. So enabling any of these options or disabling them will depend upon what you want. For this, I'll just leave them as they are. Going down, we have search by body type, and this is how it will look like. We are not really going to do anything. At the moment, we are using only style 1. That is the only style that is active. Next, you can set categories you want to be displayed here. I'll just leave everything as they are. I'm not really going to touch anything. Maybe we can change the color for the navigation controls. As you can see, at the moment, it's not using our brand colors. So I go over to style. Going down, we have slider navigation. And the background color, we can choose our blue color. Maybe like this. If I hover, you see that we now have our blue color. If you want to get the exact blue color, you can enter the hex code right here. For this demonstration, I'll just leave this for now. Perfect. And we are done with this section. Going down to the about section, you can just go ahead and enter your about information here. So the title here, instead of lowest pricing and the best customer service, I will say welcome to car listing. That is the name of my business. From here, I can enter the about information of my business. I'll leave this empty text for now. Next thing I want to do is link this particular button to the about page. So I scroll down to button text. So I'll say more info. And from here, I can search for my about page. So I'll just say about. I just click to insert the link, as you can see. One thing you can also do is you can link this button to the listings page. It doesn't really matter depending upon what you want. From here, I want to change the number of cars available. So I'll just copy from this, that is 1520 plus cars. So I enter it here, 1520. And then the plus is here. If you want to take it off, you can go ahead and do so. And then instead of car available, I'll say cars available so that it will be plural. If you want to change any of these images, going up, then from here, this is the first image, that is the image behind. I hope you can see. Let me move my pointer. As you can see, the red car behind, this is it here. I just click on choose image, upload files, select files. I'll use this image, click on open. It is uploaded. I click on select and you see it behind. Awesome. Similarly, you can go ahead and change the rest of the images as you wish. And we are done with this section. Going down, we also have recent listings, and it is being categorized by all type, selling listing and then buy listing. So if I select sell, it will give me cars that are for sale. If I select buy, it will give me cars that users are looking for. Awesome. If I click all, it will show all cars that are available for sale and for buying. Similarly, you can customize the number of listings and then the column, just as we did for the featured listing. Going down, we have section for customer reviews. Let me just show you how you can edit it. So I just click on the widget like this, and these are the various testimonials. If I want to edit this first one, I click on it. I can change the person's image from here. Let's say maybe I want to use this. I select it, then I click on select and you see it here. If I want to change the name of the person, this way I do that. Perfect. Maybe he's the project manager. Of certain company, maybe Dikupages, something like that. If I want to change the actual testimonial, this way I do that. So what I want to do is I say my best testimonial. I just want to put something in there and it will show right here. Perfect. Going down, we have a section for latest blog posts. With blog posts, you can use it to drive traffic to your website. If you don't really need it, you can just go ahead and delete it from here. But having blog posts will be helpful for your website. And finally, we have this section which is not really part of the Elementor page builder. It can be customized using the theme customizer. And we are done with the design of our home page. I click on publish. We can view it to see how it will come up. And this is how it will look like. We have our number of car listings here. The car I added, the background. Awesome. Remember, I also changed this text, that is welcome to car listing, and this image behind. If I go down a little bit with my mouse, you see the car behind. Perfect. Our testimonial is also reflected. As you can see, my best testimonial. I can exit from here. And now we are done with the design of our home page. Now that we are done designing the pages of our website, the next thing we want to do is perform some settings, that is general settings, that will allow our user to seamlessly add their listings so that they can attract customers. To do that, I go to the back end of my website, then I'll go over to classified listings. Upon clicking on classified listings, you'll be presented with all the listings we have on the website. And from here, you can add new from here as an administrator or right here. Before adding anything, first of all, we want users to be able to add some categories. So let's see how we can add categories to our car listing website. So I click on categories from here. At the moment, we have 6 categories as you can see. And let me show you how you can add a new category. Since we are creating a car listing website, our category should be related to cars. And looking through, you see that I don't have SUV, so I'm going to go ahead and add it as my new category. So I'll just enter SUV. Forget about the slug, it will be created automatically. It's going to be a main parent, so we don't do anything here. You can enter description if you want. This is good for search engine optimization. For now, I leave it as it is. From here, I want to set a color for my category. So I click in here, then I go ahead and choose maybe something like this, some lighter color. Then under types, it can either be a category for sale, for buy, or for rent. If you leave it as for sale, it means that users can only list their cars for sale in that category. If I enable buy, it also means that users will be able to add a listing on the website, indicating that they are looking for a car that is in the SUV category to buy. Similarly, users can also come and search for cars for rentals. For this demonstration, I will enable all these three types. Next, we have price unit. This car for sale, for buy, or for rent, is it going to be yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, or whatever? For instance, if it's a rental car, it can be daily or hourly. So choosing any of these will depend upon the types you'll be selecting here. For this, I'll leave it as open so that users will decide what they want. Going down, I want to add a related image to the category. So I click on add image, upload files, select files. This is the image I want to use for SUV. I select it. If you want to have intuitive images, you need to make sure that the dimension is around 80 by 40 pixels. Mine is 72 by 35 pixels. I select it, then I click on open. It is uploaded. I click on insert to post. You can also add an icon for your category as we have here, but I'm not going to do that. The image will be fine for me. I click on add new category and it is added on top right here, and by default the slug is created. So this is how you can add categories to your car listing website, and should be noted that you can add as many categories as you want. Now before I move forward, let me go to the front end of the website. Then I try to add a listing. Going down, maybe I want to use the cell ad type. And the categories, I drop down the arrow, you see that I have SUV here. Initially it wasn't there, so this is how it will come up for users to use. Going back, let's go over to locations. At the moment, these are the various locations we have on the website. Now let me go ahead and add new locations. So under name, I enter Tamale. Going down, I click on add new location. The order is not really mandatory as we have it right here. Maybe I want to add Accra. I add new location. Let's say there's a particular location in Tamale I want to add. So what I do is I say Abu Abu. Then under parent location, I can drop down the arrow and choose Tamale so that Abu Abu will come under Tamale as a child location. So I go ahead and click on add new location as we have here. Take note, you can add as many locations as you want. Next, let's go over to tax. Even though tax is not really mandatory, but it is good for SEO. So you can go ahead and add tags that are related to cars. Next, we have listing types. If I go to the front end, these are the various listing types we have. We have sell, buy, and rent. Let's see how we can add a new one. Maybe I will say exchange. If you have a car and you want to change it to another car with some other user, you can go ahead and select it during the listing. So I click on add type and we have it right here. It is successfully added. Now if I go to the front end and refresh, I drop down the arrow right here, you see that I have exchange. And take note, upon selecting it, saying that no category found, simply because there's no category that is attached to exchange. If you want to add categories to it, you come back here and go over to categories. I'll open it in a new tab. I just want to show you how it works. Maybe compact. I'll just click on edit. Going down, I enable exchange under compact. Then I click on update.
Now if I go to the front end and refresh, then I select exchange, I will now be able to select the category, which is only compact. So if you want all your categories to have the art type, that is exchange, you need to go ahead and edit them and select exchange as your type so that users will be able to use them at the front end. Since I don't need this exchange art type, I'll just go ahead and take it off. I just added it for demonstration purposes. Perfect.
If you are finding value so far, please click on the like button. It does help me out and I'll appreciate you. Alright, let's get back to the video.
The system has added for us. If you want to add a new custom field, you just go ahead and add it from here. But let me show you how we can edit some of the existing fields. As a matter of fact, these are the necessary custom fields you will need when you are going to run a car listing website. For instance, if you want to edit amenities, just right click on it, open link in a new tab, and this way you can edit them. It's just one field, but this is where you can add some options you want. So these are some options you will find in modern cars. If you want to add a new option, just click on add, then you go ahead and enter it here, and that is the display text. That is what users will see, and this will be the text for the system. For example, camera, I just want to show you included. Camera included, you can just copy it like this, then come in here and paste it. Going up, you go ahead and update the field. If I scroll down, you see that we have it right here, and then the value is changed to small letters for you with the hyphen added. So this is how you can add an option. Let me exit from here. The main custom field you may want to customize is the car fields. So I'll just go ahead and click on car fields. And the first field we have is car make. If I scroll down, you see the available car makes we have in the system, even though this is not all. So let me show you how you can add additional car makes right here. If I go to the front end, maybe I'll change this to sell, and the category, I'll choose SUV. Remember, that's the category we selected, or we created rather. Going down, here we have make. If I drop down the arrow, these are the various makes we have from the system. And remember, you can add your own car makes. So let me show you how we can add a car make right here. If I go back and the order, I just go ahead and click on add option. I take this one off, then I enter Reynolds. I'll just copy it, then I go ahead and paste it here. Maybe I'll drag it and drop it on top of order like this. Now if I go ahead and update, then I go to the front end and refresh, scrolling down, and the car make, if I drop down the arrow now, you see that I have Renault. Upon selecting Renault, we don't see anything happening down here, but let me select Toyota. You see that we have Toyota model, which I can select. So these are the various models for Toyota. So let's see how we can add models for Renault if users select it, so that they'll be able to select the various model under Renault. Let's go back. So what I'm going to do is I'll just click on add new field, and this is going to be a select, so that users will have to drop down the arrow and choose an option. The field label is going to be Renault model. Next, I go ahead and make it a required field. It should also be included in the filter widget that is in the front end. You can also include it in the listing. Maybe I leave this as no, and then we also want to enable conditional logic. If I enable conditional logic, you see this field has appeared. This means that if users select Renault, they will be able to see this particular field. But if I say no, it means that when users select the field, the system wouldn't know where to place the Renault model. So I enable conditional logic, and then the make, that is show this field if the value is equal to, then you see that it is set to Toyota because it's the first one. I drop down the arrow, I scroll down, then I select Renault. So what this means is that the make should be shown if the value is equal to Renault. And right here under options, we go ahead and enter the various options we have under Renault. That is the various models for Renault. I'll just enter some random ones. So I have 5 E-Tech. I'll just copy it and paste it in here. I add second option, which is going to be Lutetia. I just really don't know these models. I just found them online. I paste it right here. Maybe I'll add the third option, which would be my final one, Cardian. I copy it and I go ahead and paste it in here. All is set. Going up, I click on update. Now if I go to the front end and refresh, then I scroll to car make, drop down the arrow, I go ahead and choose Renault. You now see that we have Renault model. Then I can drop down the arrow and choose the various options we've added. Isn't this cool? So this is how you can customize the car fields, or you can add custom fields to your car listing website. Going back, you can go over to payment history, which is just some static text you need for your business. Every single payment information will be displayed right here. Next important feature we have here is pricing. This is where you can set pricing for your listings so that users will have to pay if they are going to go ahead and add some listing. For now, I'm not going to set any pricing. I want to make it free. Next, we have stores. As an administrator, you can add some stores to the website, but I would prefer you leave that option to car vendors so that they go ahead and add their own stores and add their features the way they want. Next, we have store categories. This is where you can categorize the various vendors you'll be having on your car listing website. This is not really mandatory, but you can go ahead and add them as you wish. Going back, before we look at settings, the next important feature will be memberships. This is where users with membership packages will be listed. That is if you enable membership on your website. I'll show you where we can enable or disable memberships. And now let's come over to the main settings, which is the main brain behind our car listing website. So I click on settings. At the moment right here, you see that it is saying you have 30 free hours. So right now, when users come to our website to create listings, they'll be able to add 30 free listings. I'll show you how we can deal with all this. Under general, we are not going to do plenty stuff. Maybe what you want to change from here is listings per page. How many listings you want users to see on the front end. For instance, if I go to listings, at the moment we have 8 listings, as you can see, like this. So if I change this to maybe 20, then I save the changes. I go to the front end and refresh. Scrolling down, you see we have more, and we don't have the navigation anymore. Possibly this is not up to 20 listings. It is actually 11 listings. For this demonstration, I'll leave the 20. We also have number of listings for related listings. If I open any of these listings like this, going down, we have explore similar cars, and that is the related listings. At the moment it is set to 4. You can set it to whichever number you want. So you can enter whatever number you want from here. We have enable quick view and then enable compare, and we can compare up to 3 listings. If I go to the front end, if I hover on any of this product, I can actually add this to my compare list like this. You see that it has opened here. Maybe I want to add this one as well. And you see I have 2, and finally maybe this, and see that I have 3. Now if I try to add the 4th one, I'll see a notification here. You cannot add more than 3 listings to the compare, and the reason is that we have 3 right here. So you can set it to whichever number you want. Now if I go over to compare, I'll see all the various cars I've added with their details so that I can make a decision which one I'll go in for. Perfect. I can remove the particular one I don't want from the list, and I'll now have 2, as you can see. Similarly, I can go here and take off the particular one I don't want, or I can just go ahead and click on clear to remove everything. Next, let's go over to enable mark as sold. So if this is enabled and a particular car is being sold, as a vendor, I can enable it in the dashboard telling users that the car is being sold, and that is a good feature. Next, we have default listing view. At the moment, it is set to grid view. If I select list view and save the changes, let's see what we'll get. Going to the front end, I go over to listings. This is how list view will look like. So selecting any of the view type will depend upon what you want. I'll take it back to the grid view. Another important feature we have here is text editor. At the moment, it is set to WordPress editor. I can choose text area and I'll show you how it looks like. Going down, we have two location types. We have local location, and that is what we set right here under locations. Remember, you can also use a geolocation so that users can easily search to choose an automated location. I'll show you what that is in a moment. Going down, you can change your currency from here. For this, I'll set it to Ghana cedis because I'm from Ghana. Then currency position, I want it to be left. Everything else is cool. I go ahead and save the changes. Now if I go to the front end and refresh, you will now see our currency to be in Ghana cedis instead of dollars. Now let me go back to the listing form and refresh. At the moment, this is the WordPress editor. It's gone, and this is the text area. This is how it will look like. It can be expanded, it doesn't really matter. So you can either use this or the WordPress editor. With the WordPress editor, users will be able to format their text by applying bold, italic, or bulletins. So I think using the WordPress editor will be cool. So I'll take it back to WordPress editor. Then I click on save changes. If I refresh, let's see WordPress editor. This is how it will look like. Now if I scroll down to location, as a vendor, if I want to add a location, I can easily go ahead and type it and it will be populated for me. With this particular feature, I don't have to add all the locations I want to have on my website. So using the default location and then the automated location will depend upon what you want. For this demonstration, I want to use the default location. So that is the local location. So I select it. Then I go ahead and save my changes. Next, let's go over to moderation. First, we have listing duration. How many days do we want the listings to last on the website? At the moment, it is set to 15. So if users add their listings, after 15 days, the listing will expire. If I enter 0, it means that the listing will be on the website forever. For now, let me make it 30 days. Next, we have new listing threshold in days. So how many days should a listing last so that it will be tagged as a new listing? If I enter 5 right here, it means that the listing will be set to new from day 1 up to day 5. On the 6th day going forward, the listing will not be labeled as new anymore. So this is how we change it. For this, I'll enter 7 days. How do you want to label your featured listings? It is set to hot. You can also enter featured or whatever text you want. Next is popular listing threshold. How many views should your listing have so that it will be tagged as a popular listing? The system has set 1000 views. You can change it to whatever number you want. So maybe I'll enter 1500 so that a listing will have to get 1500 views for it to be popular on my website. You can also set the text for popular listing, top listing, and then bump up listing. Next, we have enable top listing at listing page. Now if I go to the front end, maybe at the moment we don't have any top listing. I'll show you that later on in the tutorial. So if this is enabled, users will be able to see top listings on your website. That is listings that are being promoted. At the moment it is set to 2, maybe I want 4. Next, we have listing seller information and store contact information. Who do you want this information to be displayed to? So if I enable this, it means that only registered users will be able to access them. For now, I'll leave them as unchecked so that anybody can access them. Next, we have show in listing. This is where you can enable or disable any of these features so that it will show or not show in the listing page. For instance, if I enable short description, it means that this will be shown in the listings page. Going down, let me go ahead and save the changes so that I'll show you what this means. If I go to the front end, at the moment you don't see any short description. But if I refresh, you see a short description right here. So this will depend upon what you want. Going back, I'm going to go ahead and disable it. I don't really need it. So enable any of this will depend upon what you want. Next, we have show in listing detail page. The listing detail page is when users go to a particular listing. This is where we have the listing detail page. So whatever you want to see will be enabled from here. If you disable any of these, it will not be shown on the listing detail page. For instance, if I enable category name, then I go ahead and save the changes. If I go to the listing page and refresh, right here we have sedan, and that is the category. Perfect. Going back, so you can enable or disable whichever one you want. I'll leave the rest of the features as they are. Next, we have detail page sidebar position. At the moment it is set to right. You can set it to left or bottom. If I go in here, this is the sidebar, it is set to right, and I think leaving it at right is cool. So I don't tamper with it, but you can change it from here as you wish. Next, you can also enable renew listing so that if a particular listing is expired, the vendor can go ahead and renew it. And this is very important for your business. If they are going to renew and it requires payment, that is where you make more money for yourself. Next, we have add to favorite, report abuse, contact form, review form, enable map, and the rest. All this can be shown on the product detail page. This will add the listing to the compare list. As you can see, let me take it off. From here, users can report the listing, and this message will come directly to the site administrator. They can also go ahead and share the listing on any of the social media platforms. They can print the listing, and all these features are being set right here. Next, we have maximum images allowed per listing. At the moment, users will be able to add only 4 images. As you can see, we have 4. So if I want them to add up to 10 images, for example, this is where I enter it. Next, we have delete expired listing. In days, at the moment it's set to 15. So if a listing is expired, it will still stay on the website for the number of days you'll be setting here before it is finally deleted. With this, you can give your vendors a grace period to be able to renew the listing or not. Next, we have new listing status. If a listing is added, how do you want it to behave? Should it be published right away? Should it be set to pending so that you approve it as an administrator? Or it should be set to draft and what have you? Setting it as pending will be ideal so that you go ahead and verify every listing to make sure it is in line with your terms and conditions. This is very important. Also, if users edit their existing listings, I'll advise you leave it as pending so that you make sure you verify again before it becomes live on your website. You can also enable this to publish every single listing after payment. I wouldn't advise this, so I leave it unchecked. Finally, we have listing form, and that is the form we have right here. What kind of information do you want to take from the car vendors or car dealers? All this we have here, users will have to provide them, even though some of them are not mandatory. If you don't want any of this, you can go ahead and hide them from here. For instance, if I hide video, URL, location, and zip, then I save the changes. Going to the front end to listing form, you see that we have video URL, location, and whichever one again did I enable, that is zip. Also remember, we set the total number of images to 10. At the moment it is set to 2. So now if I refresh it, at the moment, it is set to 4. Upon refreshing, you see that users can now add 10 images. And then location is off. We don't have location anymore. We don't also have zip. And then the video URL is also gone. But for this, I need all of them, so I'll go ahead and untick them. So everything is set. I click on Save Changes. Next, let's go over to payment. And this is where you can enable payment gateways for your website. For this demonstration, I'll be showing you how you can enable offline payment because I don't have access to the rest of the payment gateways. PayPal, Authorize.net, and Stripe are not available in my current location because I'm from Ghana. So what you want to do here is set your currency. So I'll make it Ghana cedis. Then I go ahead and save the changes. Next, I go over to the payment gateway I want to use, that is offline. It is already enabled. You can choose whichever payment option you want to use, either a direct bank transfer, check payment, or mobile money services, depending upon where you are coming from. Upon entering all these details, next thing you want to do is customize the instruction. So this is where you can enter your account name, your bank account number, and then your bank name. And this information right here is very important. If we don't receive your payment within 48 hours, we will cancel the order. So if a vendor has a listing within a set number of hours and they don't make payments, you can just go ahead and delete the listing. So I'll just go ahead and customize this quickly. Alright, I've entered the information and I click on Save Changes. And now we are done with payment. Next, we have tax. If you want users to pay tax, this is where you can enable it. Then you go ahead and save the changes. You can also set your tax rate from here. First, you can enter your country. So I'll enter Ghana like this. State code. If you want to limit it to a particular state, you can enter the code right here. In Ghana, we don't have different rates for different states, so I'll leave it as empty. And then the rate, let's say, is going to be maybe 10%. And the name, I'll just leave it as tax, and the priority is 1. Take note, if you are going to be adding different taxes for different states, you can insert as many as you want. Then click on Save Changes. You don't have to enable tax if you are not going to use it. Next is email, which is also important. This is where, as an administrator, you get notification when users perform any of this. When a new user is registered on your website, you will get an alert as an administrator. When a new listing is submitted, when a listing is edited, when a listing expired, when an order is created, when payment is received, when users submit a contact form on their website. For instance, if I go over to this listing, there's a contact form. As a user of the website, if I send a message through this form, as an administrator, I will be able to see the message just as the vendor of this particular listing. So this is very important. You can also receive a message if there's a store update. For this, I'll enable all of them. This is very important to me as an administrator. You can also notify users via email when any of this is happening on the website. If a new user is registered, the person should get an email. If they submit a listing, if the listing is being approved or published, they should get an email. If the listing is about to expire, they should get an email. If the listing expires, when a new order is created, when a new order is completed, and finally we have disable contact email to listing owner. So selecting any of this will depend upon your website requirement. I'm going to enable this. This is not really mandatory. Next, we have email sender options. So what name do you want users to see when they receive message from the website? At the moment, we have CLCar, and that is the name of the team. So I'll just enter the name of my business, car listing. And the from email will come from my personal email, or maybe our business email. So info@dikupages.com. That is the from email. And then admin notification emails. I don't want to have plenty message in my professional email, so I can enter my Gmail email right here. This is where I'll be getting notifications when any of this is happening on the website. Going down, I can add an image for my email. I'll add this one. I'll just select it, then I click on insert to post. footer text, site title will be displayed. You can customize it just the way you want. And then the base color, I want to use my blue color. Let's assume this is it, like this. Going down, you can leave the rest of the colors as they are. Next, we have listing renewal email. Listing renewal email threshold is set to 3 days. You can change it to whichever number of days you want. Renewal reminder is also 3. You can set everything as you want. That is the number of days. All is set here. I click on Save Changes. Next, we have account and policy. You want to make sure that account creation is enabled so that users will be able to create accounts on your website. It's very important. Next, we have hide name. If they are going to create an account, should they add their names, phone numbers, and the phone number should be required? Let me show you what I mean by this. Now, if I come right here and open this in a new private window, if I try to add a listing, I will be required to log in to do that. But if I'm new, I have to register on the website. So I click on register. So this is where I can add in my names, my phone number, username, and then the rest of the fields. Let me minimize this. If I come back here and enable hide name, hide phone number, then I'll go ahead and save the changes. If I go back to the private window and refresh, you see that name and phone number fields are gone. So doing any of this will depend upon what you want. For this demonstration, I'm not going to hide them. If you want phone number to be required, you go ahead and enable it from here. For this, I'm not going to make it as required. If you want login to be separated from the registration, this should be enabled. If I disable it and save the changes, then I come back right here and refresh. You see that the page is not working, but if I click on add listing now, it will take me to the login page. But if I click on register, you see that I still have the login fields as well as the register fields. As you can see, if you want them to be side by side, you have to disable separate registration form. For this, I'll leave it as enabled. Next is admin menu access rule. I'll leave all unchecked. I don't want users to be able to access the admin menu. This is the admin menu we have here. So I'm only seeing this because I'm the administrator of the website. Next, we have allow post for unregistered user. If I enable this, it means that if a user is not registered on the website, they will be able to add listing. However, an account will be created for them automatically, and I don't want this, so I'm not going to enable that. Next, we have user verification, which I will enable so that users will have to verify their accounts when they register on my website. From here, you can set the maximum number of attempts if they try to resend the registration link. So if I leave it as 5, it means that they can only request for the verification link 5 times. Going down, you can also go ahead and set your terms and conditions pages and also your privacy policy pages. I don't have them yet. I can quickly add them. So to do that, I go over to pages, then I click on add new page. I'll open it in a new tab so that I don't lose here. So first I have my terms and conditions. And this is where I enter the actual text. For now, I'll leave it as empty. I just want to have the page. I publish and publish. It is added. I'll add another one. So if I want to see the WordPress menu, I can exit here and I go over to options. Then I go ahead and click on full screen mode so that I can add my page from here. So I click on new page again. The title will be privacy policy. I click on publish and publish. I can exit from here. Now I can add my pages. So under terms and conditions page, I search for terms. You see that I don't see them. What I'll do is I'll just save the changes so that the page will refresh in order not to lose all what I've set so far. So terms and conditions, I'll just search for terms and I have it here. Meanwhile, you have to enable them for the various pages. So terms and conditions page will be enabled. Users can also see them when they are checking out, and users can also see them when they are registering on the website so that they know what they are up against. Next, we have the privacy policy. I'll just search for privacy. I have it right here. Then I click on save changes. And we are done with account and policy. Next, let's go over to style. We are not really going to do anything here. However, if you want to change some of the colors to the various features we saw earlier, you can go ahead and do that. Next, we go to miscellaneous. This is where you can specify the dimensions of your images. I'll just leave the default, but what I want to do is come over to allow image type. At the moment, users can upload PNG and JPEG. I can also enable this, that is WebP. This is a file type that is having lower sizes as compared to these three. Next, we have allow image memory size. At the moment, users can upload images up to 2 megabytes. So if I enter, for instance, 10, it means that they can upload up to an image size of 10 megabytes. Anything above 10, users will not be able to upload them. Going down, we leave the rest of them as they are. Maybe for social share, I'll enable WhatsApp and Telegram, and these two will only work on mobile devices. Finally, you can enable Google reCAPTCHA for security purposes. I'll leave this for another video. Going down, I click on save changes to save my work. Next, we have chat, which is enabled by default. If you want customers to be able to chat with vendors, you make sure this is enabled. I'll show you how that works in real time. Next, we have advanced. This is where you want to set your permalinks. Now, if I go to the front end and take a look at the URL of my listing, you see that I have the name of my website /RTCL_listing/ the name of the particular listing. I don't want to have the RTCL, I only want to have listing. So this is where I can change it. So I'll just remove this, then I leave only listing. That is the listing base. The rest of them, they are cool, so I don't do anything. Next, the listing page, you need to make sure that it is set to the listing page, and the listing form page should set to listing form, and you make sure that my account is also set to my account. Checkout page is set to checkout, store page is set to store page, and then compare page is set to compare. And the rest, we leave them as they are, then save our changes. Next, we have tools, which we are not really going to touch, just leave it as it is. We have app. The developer of this team is also having a plugin that you can use to convert your website into a mobile app. So if you buy it, this is where you can do the customization. You don't really need to worry much about it. You can contact the developer to help you out in that regard. Finally, we have membership. If you want to have memberships on your website, this is where you enable it. If you want users to be able to use store functionality, this is where it should be enabled. How many stores do you want to see per page? I'll leave it as the default. Stores per row, the default. One thing I want to change is free ads. You see that it is enabled, and we have number of free ads set to 30. If I go to the front end, then I click on add listing, the system will tell me that you have 30 free ads. Now if I change it to, let's say, 100, then I go ahead and save the changes. I go to the front end and refresh. I will have 100 free ads to add. So this is where you can change it. However, if you set prices for your listings, it will come and override these free ads here. I'll show you that in a moment. I'll show you that later on in the tutorial. Next, we have renewal days for free ads. So if users add some free ads, it will be renewed after 30 days. If you leave it as empty, it will still be 30. However, you can set whatever number of days you want here. Next, we have unlimited free ads for membership. If membership is enabled here, like we have here, and this particular field is enabled, users with the membership feature will be able to add unlimited number of free listings. Enabling this will depend upon your business model. I'm not going to enable it. Finally, we have allowed category for free ads. Now if I enable this, what this means is that users will be able to add free listing only in this particular category. So if I save the changes, then I go to the front end and refresh. Going down, maybe I want to use sell car. Now if I drop down the arrow and choose compact, remember I enabled compact right here for the free ads. Now if I select any of these categories apart from compact, let's see what happens. You see that you are not allowed to post at convertible category as free. So as a user, you need to buy a membership package in order to add to this particular category. But if I select compact, I'll be redirected to the listing form, as we can see. For this demonstration, I'll disable this, then I'll go ahead and save the changes so that users will be able to add in all of these categories. And now we are done with the setting up of our listing website. Remember, we'll still take a look at pricing later on in the tutorial. Now that we are done setting up our car listing website, the next thing we want to do is see how users can add listings onto our website. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and open the website in a new private window. So I'm now going to act as a vendor. So if I come to the website as a vendor, what I do is click on add listing. From here, I will require to enter my login details. But because I'm new, I have to register. So I click on register. And this is where I provide my registration details. Phone number is not mandatory, but I can enter some random phone number like this. Next is username. Take note, username cannot be changed. So I can say Dana, and then email. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Going down, I enter my password. From here, I agree to the privacy policy and terms and conditions. Then I go ahead and click on register. You have successfully registered on our website. Please check your email and click on the link. We send a verification mail to verify your email address. So before I can actually go ahead and log into the website, I need to verify my email address. And from here, I have my two emails. One is the verification. And what I do is just click on this link to verify my account. And now your account email address is verified. Perfect. Going back, I have registration success message, and it's telling me that my registration is successful. Now let me go ahead and add my listing. I can exit from here for now. So I just click on add listing, and I will require to log in. So I enter my username and then my password. Then I click on login. Upon login, I'll be redirected to the login form. I drop down the arrow. I'm going to sell a car, and it's going to be in the category of SUV. This listing logo is not really necessary. Let me show you what that is. This is the listing logo. So if you add it, this is how it will be displayed. Maybe vendors can add their business logos to be displayed like this. For this demonstration, I'm not going to add it. So I'll say Renault 2023 car for sale, something like that. Users can select from any of these pricing options. I'm going to use fixed price. It can also be negotiable or on call. So the price will be 52,000 Ghana cedis. Going down, I'm not really going to fill all these details. Maybe power soundproof, yes. Multi-angle camera view, yes. Ambient interior lighting, yes. So the make, I'm going to use Renault, and the Renault model is going to be Cardian. Kilometers run, I'll just enter this. Engine capacity, maybe I'll say number of cylinders will be 4. The color is going to be black. Transmission, I will say automatic. Fuel type will be gasoline. The condition is going to be used. I'll leave the rest as they are. I'm not really going to waste time here. Maybe safety devices, I'll select all these just for demonstration purposes. I don't need camera included. Remember, I added this. And then the description, I'll just enter some random text. Going down, this is where I add my images. So I browse to get them. I'm going to add all these. I can just select all of them at once, pressing Ctrl plus A keys on the keyboard, then I click on open so that they will be added at a go. I'm adding 10 images. Maybe if I add a particular image in error, I can just go ahead and delete it by hovering on it and clicking on the delete icon. All is added. Going down, if I have a video link, I can add it. I'm not doing that. Location is set to Tamale, and then the city is going to be Abu Abu. Phone number is already set. Maybe it's the same number for WhatsApp, so I go ahead and add it. Going down, zip code maybe 00233, which is not really necessary, and then the location is set depending upon what I'll be selecting here. So if you are from my location, you will know that this particular point is where I'm currently resided. Social platforms, I'm not going to do them. I agree to the terms and conditions, then I click on submit listing. Thank you for submitting your ad, and I will be redirected to my account and also under there my listings. At the moment, the listing is set to pending, so the administrator of the website will have to approve it before it will be live on the website. Now if I go to my email and check my inbox, you see that I have a new message telling me that your listing Renault this has been received and is pending review. The review process will take up to 48 hours. So we have submitted a free listing as car vendors. So let's see the message the administrator will also receive. I'll check my email here. I have a couple of emails. Take note, the first one is for the registration. When the user registered, I don't really need this. I'll just take it off. And I also have a new one, and it's saying new listing received. Hi administrator, you have received a new listing on the website car listing, and this is the listing. So I can go back to my website as an administrator, then I click on all listings, and you see that I have the listing here which is set to pending. So what I need to do is just go ahead and click on edit as an administrator. Then I need to verify every single information the user has submitted so that I determine if everything is in line with the requirements of my website. Let's assume everything is set. I'll just go ahead and change the status to published. Then I click on save. Now if I go back to the user, at the moment it's pending. If I refresh, it is now set to published, and users can now have access to it on their website. So if I go over to listings, going down, this is the listing right here. I click to open it, and I see all the images I've added. And you see that we are seeing 4 grids, but users can actually click on the plus icon here to see the rest of the images. Remember, we are adding 10 images. Perfect. As you can see, we have 6 of 10. If I go to the next one, 7 of 10, 8 of 10 in that order. Perfect. Scrolling down, I'll see every single detail I've added as a customer. Perfect. So we have seen how users can add listing onto our website and how we can also approve it as administrators.
Alright, at this juncture, I'm going to encourage you to click on the subscribe button if you have not already subscribed. Also give the video a thumbs up if you are finding value so far. Alright, let's get back to the video.
Now let's see how we can use the chat feature. So I'll come back to my website as an administrator. Then I go over to listings. Scrolling down, I'll open the listing. I just want to chat with the seller. Going down, I click on quick chat and it's loading. So I'll say, hi seller, I am interested in your car. Let me go back to the seller's account. You see that I have some indication here telling me that I have 2 messages in the chat. I can also go to my account page and I can see the charts. Let me go ahead and click on it. This is the message. I'll just open it up. Hi seller, I am interested in your car. And I'll say, okay, how much do you want to offer? Hit enter. Now if I go back to my account as administrator or maybe a customer, I'll see the message right here. How much do you want to offer? So this is how the chat feature works. Perfect. Now that we have seen how the chat feature works, let's see how vendors can go ahead and create stores on our website. So from the vendor's account, they can go over to store. From here, they can upload a store banner. Let me quickly go ahead and do that. Maybe I want to use this image. Going down, if I have a logo, I'll add it. For this demonstration, I'll use this. Going down, I can enable my opening hours depending upon what I want. So if I enable Monday, this is where I set the opening hours. So for instance, so Monday will be, let's say, 7 o'clock a.m. like this to maybe 5 o'clock p.m. something like this. Similarly, I can enable the rest of the days, maybe except Sunday. Store name, I can say Dikupages. The Slack, I can just enter Dikupages in there. Then I go ahead and enter some hyphen in between. If I have a slogan, maybe best cars in town, something like that. Going down, if there's a category, I can select it. But remember, I didn't set any categories earlier. Store email address, maybe it's going to be this. Store phone 0246. All right, store website https://mywebsite.com. And then store address, I will say 123. Take note, users don't really need to enter all this information. Store details, I'll just enter some random text, something like this. I can add my social links, maybe Facebook. I'll enter https://facebook.com/ I will say Dikupages web. I'm just entering a page as an example. And I click on update store. Your store is updated successfully. Now if I go to the stores page, right here you see my store as well as the details I've provided. Let me go ahead and open it up. So this is how the store page will look like. And you see that it's already having my listing right here. Perfect. So that's it on how users can create stores on our website. Now we have looked at how users can add listings for free. Let's see how we can set pricing for our website so that users will be able to pay before their listings are live on our website. So coming back to the administrator, now it's time to set prices for our website so that users will not be able to add their listings for free, or will be able to charge some fees in order to generate revenue for our website. I can exit out of here for now. Before I do that, first of all, I go over to settings, then I click on membership. From here, you want to make sure that you disable free ads, then save the changes. So now users will not be able to add listings on our website for free. Now let's go ahead and set our pricing. So I click on pricing. At the moment we don't have any pricing, so I click on add new. Take note here, you can set 2 categories of prices. We have regular price and membership packages. For regular price, users will be able to add only 1 listing at a time. But for membership packages, users will be able to add some reasonable number of listings depending upon what you'll be setting. I'll show you how you can create all these. For now, let's start with a regular price. So the first one, I'm going to add a basic price. Next, we have pricing type. I leave it as regular. The actual price, I'll enter 25. And then when users buy this particular package at 25 Ghana cedis, the listing will be valid on my website for 30 days. It's not going to be set as hot, top, or bump up. I can give it a description. Maybe this is a basic regular price, something like that. And then the order, I'm going to go ahead and make it 1 so that it will be the first one on my pricing list. I click on publish. We have added the first one. Let's add another one by clicking on add new. Next one, I'll give it maybe business. The price is going to be 99 Ghana cedis and it will be valid for 90 days. I'm going to go ahead and set it as hot. And then the description, this is a business regular price. The order, I'll set it to 2, then I click on publish. And finally, the third one, I click on add new listing, and it's going to be premium. Regular price is going to be 199, and then the validity date will be 365, that is 1 year. Take note, the validity date is the number of days the ad will last on the website before it expires. For this one, I will set it as hot, top, and bump up. Then the description, this is a premium regular price. I'll set it as 3 as the order and click on publish. And now we are done creating our 3 pricing. Take note, we have created for the regular price. This is where users can add only one particular listing at a time, and they will be able to get the features. Let me go over to pricing. They'll be able to get their visible days as well as promotions depending upon the particular pricing option they will be selecting. Now let's go ahead and add a membership package so that users will be able to add some reasonable number of listings depending upon what we'll be setting for them. So I click on add new. Maybe this one, I'll just call it package 1. And the pricing type is going to be membership. You see that for membership, we have so many options. The first one, let's say, is going to be 199 or maybe 299 so that it will be differentiated from the regular prices. So I have 299 Ghana cedis. Next, we have total number of hours. How many hours can users add with this particular price as a member? So users will be able to add 10 hours. And then next we have promotions. First of all, let's look at hot. How many listings can they be able to add under hot? So let's say they will be able to add 2 listings for hot, and it will be valid for maybe 5 days. I'm not going to give them any top or bump up. And then the ad will be valid for 30 days. And it's going to be applicable to all these categories. You can add in a description if you want. For now, I will leave it as empty. I've already shown you how you can add descriptions. So this is going to be number 1 for membership. I click on publish. Let's add new again. And this is going to be package 2. And the pricing type will be membership. The price, I'll enter to $3.99. Then total number of hours will be 50. And then hot, they'll be able to add 5. And then the validity will be 7. For top, they'll be able to add 5. The validity will be 7 days. And everything will be valid for, let's say, 60 days or maybe 90. So that you lure people to buying that. The order will be 2, then I click on publish. And finally, I'll add a third package for membership. So I'll call it package 3. Pricing type will be membership, and then the pricing will be 400 Ghana cedis, maybe 500. Total number of hours, I'll enter 1000. And then promotions, hot will be 10, and it will be valid for 14 days. Top is going to be 10, valid for 14 days, and then bump up will be 10, valid for 14 days. Take note, you can enter whatever figures you want. Maybe if I want some variations, maybe bump up will be 15, and then maybe for top, instead of 14 days, it will be 20 days, something like that. And then the validity period will be 365, that is for 1 year. I'll set the order to 3, then I click on publish. Now if I go back to pricing, we'll see all the pricing packages we've added. So these are the regular pricing, and on top here are the membership packages. Perfect. Now let's see how a user will be able to add a listing by choosing any of these pricing options. But before we can add a listing and also choosing any of these packages, first of all, let's go over to settings. Under membership, we are going to go ahead and disable membership for now. Then we save the changes. Now I'll go to the website as a customer, then I try to add a listing. Maybe I choose sell, the category compact. I'm just going to fast track this. I'll just fill all the details. Now if I click on submit listing, I'll be redirected to a page where I'll have to choose one of the pricing packages, as you can see. So let's assume I want to pick this. Going down, I need to fill in my billing details. So I'll just do this pretty quick. Ghana, address, I'll enter this. City is Tamale, then region, northern, phone number, everything else is set. Remember, we enabled tax, so this is the tax component which will be added to the subtotal, making a total of this. The payment gateway is set to direct bank transfer. I'll select it, then I'll go ahead and accept the terms and conditions. Then I click on proceed to payment. Okay, I didn't enter zip 00233. Going down, proceed to payment. And now I'll be given this information which I can use in order to make the payment. So let's assume I've made the payment, and let's see how the listing will come up. So as an administrator, I'll go over to payment history, and you see that the payment status is set to pending. I'll just go ahead and click on the order number like this. Then under general, I drop down the arrow, then I set to completed. Then I click on update. We can also take notice of the pricing details. The promotions is only set to hot. So now that the payment is completed, after we have received the actual payment from the vendor, we can now go over to listings. You see that we have our new listing which is set to pending. I edit it. The first thing we want to do is make sure we click on override default right here, and then we mark it as hot. The status, we set it to publish, and finally we make sure that everything is in line with our terms and conditions. Then we click on save. Now if you come back to the user and go over to the my account page, my listings, you see that the listing is published on the website. Perfect. So users can now have access to this particular listing on our website. Awesome. Now let's see how membership packages will work. If I come back to my website as administrator, then I go over to settings. Let's enable membership. Then we go ahead and save the changes. Now if I try to add a listing as a vendor, you see that you can buy a membership to post ad. So first of all, I need to buy a membership package, and I have these three options. Take note, choosing any of these packages will depend upon what I want and the various prices attached to them. Ultimately, going in for package 3 will be beneficial for me as a business owner depending upon the features they have here. So I'm going to choose package 3. Then I go ahead and fill in my billing details, which I already have. You see the tax component, direct bank transfer. I agree to the terms and conditions and privacy policy. Then I click on proceed to payment. Now the order is successful. Next, I need to make sure I make payment to the bank accounts before my package will be approved. Perfect. Now if I try to add listing, you see that I won't be able to add until the payment is successful. So let me go ahead and do that. So I come over to pricing history, sorry, payment history. This is the membership package. I click on order ID. From pending, I set it to completed. Then I go ahead and update. So now if I come to the website as a vendor and try to add, I will be presented with the form, and you see that I have 1000 regular hours to add. I'm not actually going to go through it. We already know how listing can be added. So now this is how you can set pricing on your website in order to generate revenue for your business. And now this brings us to the end of our car listing website.
Alright, that's it on how you can create a car listing website using WordPress. And I hope you found value throughout this tutorial. And if you think that there are other people elsewhere that this very tutorial is useful for, just go ahead and share it with them across all your social media platforms. Now, if you want to learn how to create a general purpose listing website, stick around to watch this video on your screen right now. Keep watching and I'll see you in that video.